You know what, yeah? Before we did that workout, yeah, we're there chatting shit about Wilder. Like, you bro.
You see what I mean?
I don't even think I did 2 minutes. But I'm heaving, bro.
There you go, man. And that's what I was saying, man. You can have all the plans. When Mayborn turns up and he start moving, it's a different ball game, man. Trying to catch him.
Did you, man? Any of you, man, watch the Katt Willilams interview?
Yeah.
Katt was just going at everybody.
There's an element, you think to yourself, when you watch these things, yeah? Because I think, again, partly it's like, it's our fault as people. You put celebrities on pedestals like they're not like regular people. They are like, for example, like I always say that in your neighborhood or wherever you grow up, there'll be the person that that's like constantly waffles a lot. You know that like, he's a bullshitter, or he acts tough but he's not tough. And you see all these different types of characters. Yeah. And you go to different places and you see those same characters. You see different. You see a version of Boo Boo. You see a version of Gibbo. Essentially, you see these different like more or less the same. Like there's a handful of personas in the world, and you always see the different versions of them. But for some reason, I think what happens is when you get celebrities, you say to yourself, "These must be the best of the best." Yeah. So you never think to yourself that I don't know, one of them might be a coward. Yeah. You never think to yourself one of them might be someone that just chats shit. And I guess I think you tie it to you start to. I think what happens is you tie it to success. I think you think to yourself, if someone's made X amount of money and they're loaded or whatever it is, in your head you think to yourself, and sometimes you think to yourself. There'll be like two celebrities. One of them is really rich. One of them is not that rich. In your head, you say to yourself, "Well, surely the one that's richer has more character about him." Yeah. When sometimes that's not the case.
Value.
That's not the case, and it's the case. And it's one of the things where, like, you hear people like you hear when you're watching the Katt Willilams interview, and he's saying all these things. Like I remember when he said that like this whole thing about when like comedians steal jokes. In my head, I think to myself. Sure, that's not something you do because it's so obvious to get found out. And I remember there was one that was Cedric. It was a hilarious one. That one where he talks about his cousin from the south, saying he said his cousin's name was Bominicious.
Yeah.
And then I literally, for the whole time I'm thinking that's his. I was laughing, and he tells the story like it's his, like it happened to him. And then you literally watch a skit from some old show. Yeah. Well, the guy literally tells it, and I'm like, and in the head you think this is wild. Like you're a bullshitter, and you know what I mean. I think it's a difficult thing to take in because I think again, like I said, you don't think to yourself, well, surely you can't get to that point with having that level of character because surely not.
I think like what you're saying there, like. At that level, you can't be fucking stealing someone's job, bro. That's at that level, like. But that's at that level.
But like in your head, you have to have no shame,
when you're like doing your own specials and you're taking fucking man's joke.
Like, you know what I mean? I think
that means you've got no talent, bro.
This is the thing. Like you would think that in the normal world, like most people would work hard to get where they are, right? Yeah. But. What's really bad is the fact that a lot of people that obviously made it to what we see now, we all there thinking, oh my god, this is great, I've actually got there by doing like sneaky, many little shit like that, bro. Like obviously not all of them. Because, fair enough. Even after stealing and that, like there's obviously a lot of hard work that needs to go in, in terms of obviously being seen and being known and stuff like that, but. Like, these lot do, like, a lot of fuckery that most, like, normal people do, bro.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that's the thing. It's like, I remember when there's a song where 50 Cent says, like, oh, I can't remember what album it's on, but it's like, oh, on the low, I fucked half of Hollywood. And in my head, like, when I think to myself, like, when we were younger, when we went out to clubs or whatever, you went to your local, and you saw, so-and-so slept with that girl, this girl, and you just think, it's whatever it is, as people do. In my head, I think to myself, surely, when you get to Hollywood, it's not the same thing. Like you're like people who I'm seeing, like actresses who you're thinking, fucking hell, man. You have that as a pinnacle. Oh, if I could get her, man, I'll be good. Then that's it. Surely that's not just like the same. Any girl that I see in my area, and you think to yourself, could it really be that? Is it really that simple? And all we're doing as people, we're just sort of. Because I think what happens is when you hear someone that's got successful, you kind of, and they might say something that might resonate with you. I think what happens is that you attach it to what you're doing sometimes. And I think this is where sometimes people get because I love seeing the comments, but when people get so defensive when like one of their celebrities has been accused and they're fighting like it's them. And I think what happens is that I've attached the way this person
like ride for them like
like
something like
family member. And like,
don't get me wrong, like I said, in my head, I mean, to me, I find it difficult that anybody has these questionable morals or these character behaviors.
That's quite sad though.
It's mad.
That's like idolizing.
Right?
Like, you probably don't even ride for your mates. Let alone your mate just go into it. You're not riding like that, bro. But you're riding Jay-Z like that. Twitter.
But honestly, I think it is that thing where like you think to yourself, like, and again, you've always heard it is that case of. I think it's kind of you have to decide because you can't really. It's difficult to pick and choose who you're going to listen to.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's chatting shit and who's not. Yeah. It's almost a case of I either have to listen to all of it or none of it.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that's true, and I think that's a difficult thing to basically just say to yourself. Like if something happened and you found out that Denzel was a waste man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That would do me, bro.
And that's true what you're saying.
That would finish me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, or genuinely feel like, hey, and the thing is, I don't go around trying to act like Denzel. But if I found out that he was a waste man, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I wanted to explain. I'd write him a letter.
Explain yourself.
That's very true. Because when I was watching the whole thing, right, there are so many things that I heard and I wish like, oh man, you know what I mean? I wish I didn't hear that about such and such person, you know. So it's like the whole thing was so heavy that you hear one thing, right? You can't process it before he hits you with another.
And this is the thing,
and it's like it made the whole thing seem so long.
And this is the thing, and this is how I know I'm the same because sometimes he'll mention a name. And I was like, please don't say that. Like one time, at one point he mentioned D.L. Hughley. I was like, bro, no. And then he goes, D.L.'s one of the greats. I was like, woo! But like, I can tell. And there's certain people I'm like, fuck anyway. Fuck that anyway. But it's like there's certain that I know that are like, there's an element I'm part of the problem. Because like I said, there's like, okay, it's fine if you're telling me that guy's a waste man, that guy, but don't tell me this guy is.
Don't say anything
because surely not. Surely that's not the case. But I think it is. I don't know, man. And again, you hear like. It goes to a point where like again, and now that like I'm older and you sort of like I think there's an element where when you speak to people, you can usually tell quite quickly whether someone's full of shit or not. I think in general, because I think there's just certain. I mean, there's always an element. If you don't have an agenda when you're speaking to somebody and you're just chatting to them, you just do that. And so if for example, like if I've just met you. And you start telling me about all the from out of nowhere. There's an element I'm gonna think you're probably chatting shit, or maybe you're not lying, but this isn't a genuine conversation. This is it's a one-sided thing. Do you know what I mean? So there's an element where like sometimes we hear like these response videos or whatever it is, or like I'm so and so responded to Katt Willilams about this. And again, so far I've not really seen anywhere someone's been like, "You're full of shit, mate. You're fucking lying."
Yeah, it's true.
Most of them have just waffled. And I'm
it's true. You see what I mean?
You know what I mean? I'm like, you sound like homeboy. I know from, do you know what I mean, from my area, and he's always chatting shit. And I feel like you're doing that now. And it's one of them things where like, it's a case of like, where do you draw the line? Do you basically just say, oh, you know what? All I'm gonna say, I'm gonna take you at face value for whatever it is you do, whether it's acting or rapping or whatever it is. But beyond that, I'm gonna have to just not even engage.
That's right.
Because I don't know if you are who you say you are. Because if behind like if you're behind closed doors, you're like this person in my area that I don't even want to be near. Do you know what I mean? And again, I don't want to say no names, but you know what I'm saying. But it's a case of I don't know, man. It's wow,
this is how I see it.
Right? It's true because he came out, and he said a lot of shit about a lot of people, but not one of them, just like you said, came out clearly and said, look, everything that he said was false. Like I can prove it.
Everybody has done that. Everyone's kind of just danced around it.
I bet they have, though. I bet there's some people that
have there, though.
But they didn't. It wasn't on camera.
But no.
You know what I mean? So we don't know if camera. They didn't say it on camera.
But I just think that people just think you're lying. We're riding with Katt Willilams.
No.
But that's the thing.
Gibbo, at least put it out there.
Yeah, and
at least get up and say, look. Whatever Katt said,
I'm pretty sure. I've seen some shit on YouTube. Yeah. But because I'm riding with Katt Willilams, like you said, I didn't even bother listening to them. I was like, this is lying, bro. I ain't got no time to even give you an ear.
You know what's funny? I remember, when the Stormzy and like Chip were having a situation, yeah. And I remember like someone, again, I'm a Stormzy fan. I remember when someone said to me like, oh yeah, Chip wrote a new diss track. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. There's an element, like, I'm pretty sure it was good because I heard like a little snippets of it, like here and there. But I didn't go out my way to. But I remember when Stormzy and Wiley had this situation, I went to look for Stormzy. I'm gonna listen. I didn't bother.
You text me. I
didn't really bother listening to Wiley's one. I was like, yeah, whatever. But so there is that element, yeah, because you're like, I'm on that side. I'm gonna care about that.
And then you're trying to hear that shit, bro. Even if it's fucking Eka bars, bro. Fuck off, bro.
And that's the same thing with anything. Like, if you go and watch a good movie right now, you enjoy it. You know it's not real, but you don't want people to come and tell you every time, hey, that's not real. You know what I mean?
And I think,
you just want to believe it. You want to enjoy it.
I remember when we were younger, and my brother said to my dad, you know wrestling's fake. He's like, what?
How dare you?
He went off, and I remember like what I remember at the time, I think I couldn't remember who it was. I think it was X-Pac. He had this finishing move where I think one of the Hardy brothers. Anyway, one of them had him finishing move where he'd hit matey, he'd go on the floor, and he'd get on the ropes, and he'd do like a diving headbutt, and like land like it looked like land on his nuts. So as my brother's telling him, look, that is fake. He goes, what? And then as I said, he goes, what are you telling me that's fake? And he was like, since that day, my dad just dismissed him like that. I don't want to hear what you got to say.
He just got nine. How was that fake? How was that fake, bro? When he just got headbutt.
You understand the situation where my sister's trying to tell my dad, he's like, she goes, because he knew that, like, so he's seen, like, as far as the years, like, he understood, like, 2000 BC, so 2000 years before Christ. And of course, at the time, it was like, I must have been like 2005. And then I can't remember how it come up, but my sister decided to say to my dad, you know the world is a lot older than that. He goes, like, what do you mean? She goes, it's like it's 2005. She's like, yeah, but that's just when people start counting. Like, you know, it's actually a lot older than that. He goes, so how old? Yeah. You know, another thing where like, when someone asks you a question but they don't let you answer it, or they start answering it for you. He's like, oh, what, 3,000? She went to say millions, yeah. She goes, what, that is like me.
Stop all that shit.
I swear, like, this is my older sister, like that, you two, you're famous. I don't want to hear what you got to say. He's like,
Oh my God.
But no, I think I think you have like, everyone has like
a... You know what that reminds me of, yeah? That reminds me of these two pussies. Dad, bro. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Look at this guy there.
Bro, what? Why, bro? Why? What? Answer that, bro. Why?
What?
Your dad is like the most stoic person ever. Like literally, I'll never forget.
He's well chilled now, man.
I was delivering. I literally knocked.
Ricky.
I said, I was delivering deliveries. I didn't realize it was your house, and I was like, oh shit. This is Booby's house. That's it. And then he goes, and then literally I was like, oh, can you take a parcel for next door? And I'm there explaining, doing my spiel. Right, by the time I look back, the door is shut. Get out of here. I was like,
I would call him Ricky, yeah, and I'd be like, I'm on my way. And they'd be like, alright, cool, yeah, come through. I'd get there, bruv, yeah, knock on the door. His mum will come in, yeah. She didn't even open the door, bro. Yes! I'm like...
She fixed through the thing.
I'm like, is Boog with? No. So,
I see him.
Alright. I'll literally take a step. I'll call him on the doorstep, bro. She's like... And I'm like, what?
Really, the African parents have no people skills, man. There's no like the
core. Don't want you man to come out or what?
Nah, bro, nah. But like, this is the thing, innit? Like, for them, this is like a new land, innit? So
outsider.
Who is this guy?
Bad kids.
Home, you see what I mean?
That's the only safest place they know, isn't it?
You see what I mean? Yeah. So for them, like whenever people came in, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's like even when we're younger, like my dad was like, no, don't go out. He wouldn't give us a reason.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say, oh, you might get some stuff. It's just like, none of it ever made sense. It's just nothing. I don't think really he knew, but I think you're right. It was a case of this is a strange place, and again, it's only something you kind of understand when you become a parent.
That's right.
Where if you go like example, I've not been living here around this place that long, and for the most part, I know it's like reasonably safe because I wouldn't have moved in. But there's an element now, like I haven't let little man just go out because I'm like I don't know because I don't know the variables. The second thing to do is I'm gonna come out with you, or do you know what I mean, or you ain't going out nowhere. You know what I mean, sort of thing. And my parents, they were never gonna come out and play with us. That's it. So it was always the case of you just stay in. And I think you're right. It is that thing of it's a strange place. Yeah. So the best thing to do is just. But they just don't have nowhere. But they got no people skills to explain. Hey, listen, son. Yeah. I was just for your safety. You know, you get me scared out there.
So stay here.
No explanation.
Nah, it's like even like to try and teach something to someone and that you yourself. Go out and then learn that
and then to try
fully. You see what I mean? So obviously this strange land that we're in and that they've not actually mastered it yet.
And the thing, you know the thing as well, also, it's one thing if you go move to a new place, and that's the assumption that you go and live in the nice place. So if you came from wherever and you had money and you went and lived in, I don't know, Surrey or Windsor, something like that, and really affluent place, you might be like, oh, this is all right. If you go to the river streets here, you're going, what the fuck is this?
You'll find out.
Do you know what I mean? You're thinking, where did I just left? Do you know what I mean? And I'll come to this. Because the river streets is a strange place, do you know what I mean? Especially back then. So there is an element that it put you on your guard, because I think, and again, I think there's an element where
the Oxmoor.
Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna think
fuck around and find out.
This is a weird place. So you know what I mean? So you're like, I'm not gonna let my kids out there.
And this is the thing. When we first moved there, he was peak on them streets.
He
was peak on them streets.
It was really bad, isn't it?
It was wild there.
There were days that we used to see people just fighting on them, just running.
Yeah, in the middle of the street, man. They be fighting and that.
Massive holes and stuff, just running.
They all live in the same place. Where are you running? You live there.
To be fair, these man, and Terrell lived in the trenches. You man literally in the trenches, involved, bro.
In the middle of all of them.
I was a bit on the outside, and I was better off, bro.
Yeah, Ricky and others were looking at it from far.
Some good side.
Yep.
But listen, what I wanted to ask is in terms of, I want to get back to this Katt Willilams thing. I want to ask you where do you see this thing going? Do you think there's gonna come a point where, because I think it's I remember I see a clip the other day where I was so I've listened to quite a few of the, I've not listened to the whole thing of the Katt Willilams interview, but I've listened to, there's probably 20 minutes I've been seeing in bits. And I remember there was I'm one of them people where if I've got an issue with you, I'll just come and tell you, listen, A, B, C, D, and then we figure out from there. It's very rarely that I go, I'll talk to someone or I'll just come to you and say, and if I don't come to speak to you, then we don't have a problem.
That's right.
So it's also a direct thing. I remember at one point I was thinking to myself, and the thing is, I get it. So much comes out, you forget what you're seeing. I remember I was watching, when he's talking about Kevin Hart or whatever. And I remember I was talking to myself, what? There's an element where, why doesn't he just call him out? But then I remembered, he did.
He did call him out.
He did. Outright, he said, listen, let's, what he did with Steve Harvey. He said, let's do it. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, he did do that. And Kevin didn't do it.
Yeah.
He didn't acknowledge it. And there is an element where you think to yourself, I wonder to myself.
But would he want that smoke?
No, he wouldn't. The difference is Kevin, I think Kevin Hart is hilarious and it's funny.
No,
but I don't think it's funny as Katt Willilams.
Katt Willilams natural.
He's a natural.
He's, isn't he?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Funny.
Years back and that we used to sit down and
Katt
just watch
Willilams
it.
all the time. Am I flat? All the time, over and over.
DC is actually behind you.
I think he was the one who put up, who got us into watching stand-up.
Yeah,
Katt Willilams.
Yeah.
But I think this is where I think to myself, is it because now you're at a point where we're living in a time where no one can really duck anything, unless you basically don't if someone says something about you, if you're a famous person, someone says something about you, unless you don't say anything and you never come back, you can't really avoid anything really these days. Yeah. So there's gonna come a point where Kevin Hart's gonna do an interview and someone's gonna go, so what you say, and then he's gonna either have to come with it, which of course will start up thing again. But I wanted are we getting to a point where, years ago, you could pretend you're something and you're not. But now, because of course, it's so easy to get exposed in terms of whoever it is you think you are. It's so easy for someone to be like, there you went, because I've caught you doing this, that, and the other. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them things where now, I wonder, will we get to a point where
There's
no more curtain anymore.
Yeah.
Because now, if you are, because I remember, and again, I remember when Katt Willilams did that, he had like a bit of a face off with Steve Harvey, and I didn't see it, but I heard the clip. Destroyed him, bro.
Yeah.
Destroyed him. And I used to think like Steve Harvey was really funny with that. And again, there is an element where he did stop doing stand up. He went and started doing. He's this guy now, the talk show guy.
That's it. Yeah.
And there is that thing where are we going to get to that point where people are now going to be like, you know what? Let me stop putting these people on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Because the truth is it's BS. But again, I think you can only do that if you yourself ain't putting yourself on a pedestal. Does that make sense? So if it's most people, they might try and pretend they're one way, but really they're not. And I think
you know, I reckon, if you're like rich, even if you're famous, move low key, bruv. Like if I'm like a millionaire, I'm not trying to fucking be out there.
I think that's the best thing. That's what I mean. You have to
you know why, bruv? Because I want my peace, bruv. I want my family's peace. I want my friends' peace. Like I just want peace, bruv. And still enjoy life. Like I'm not trying to, because I feel like if you out there like that, then traffic's gonna come to you, bro.
I think, and again, I think it's one of the things. Because again, it depends on what you portray. Because I remember when like there's a handful of people that have really like, when it comes to the whole tough guy thing, have really like been who they portray.
Yeah. And
the people like DMX or Mike Tyson. Yeah. But you see that was very destructive.
Yeah.
When my man doing them lyrics and you're like, you doing this in real life.
Yeah. and you got Pliers, innit?
Literally,
Pliers was there like talking the hardest, bro.
Do you know what I mean?
Tuning like everywhere.
Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where, and again,
you're doing this in real life.
It is that thing
for real.
The thing is that thing where if you are pretending that you're saying some of the saying that you're not, and you get found out, can you handle that fall from grace? Like, can you handle people finding out actually you're nowhere near who you are? And you've actually been confronted, because can you actually recover from that? Yeah. Or is it a case where it's just, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's that thing, if your character gets assassinated fully, all the way, it's a bit, do you know what I mean?
So it's better to stay down to earth.
I'll give you a small example. So I'm on my Instagram, we will do this. I know some of you follow some big booty models.
Who did
anyway, there's one particular one that I know I followed before. I remember I was scrolling through my feed, and then something come up. But I was going through my story. I was going through my story. I'll go through my story. And then it says something like, it's like something like really religious, and I was like, okay, and I carried on. Again, same thing again before. I kept getting these religions, and I'm like, who have I been following? And I looked, and it was this same girl. But before that, and the thing is, if you click on her profile now, everything's wiped. She's gone from she was doing all these photo shoots, wherever it is. Now it's, I found God and I'm this, and I'm like, yo, she just switched it up.
So when people change like that, though, do you?
That's what I'm saying.
Ricky was disappointed, bro. Ricky was disappointed.
Do you feel like they've actually changed, they're really, really changed, or that has taken place because there's some new thing?
I honestly think it's a case of whoever. It always comes down to whoever you was before. That was a front.
No, I think people do, especially for religion, bro. Religion is a big thing.
I
think if you make a decision for that, I think you can.
I think it is.
On a serious note, not on some bullshit Kanye West start my own church. Do you know what I mean? But on a personal level.
I think most people do because of that. I think it's more closer to the Kanye thing. Than it is any real,
because you see people go and get baptized and then they're they're so happy and I found God, and then they start praying
but you remember Mace did that, he became a preacher.
That's some fuck shit.
Became a preacher, and then all of a sudden
that's it. That's
now it's like it never happened.
No,
it's like it never happened.
Wipe the whole past.
That's fucked up. On that point, where obviously I'm sure that you lot know some people that follow some of those people of God. That being out there talking a lot of shit. To us, it's really, really obvious. But to them, they're there's so much into that to the point that they can't really see. Like, I mean,
I think they've lied to themselves.
How do you even deal with that?
What do you mean?
So obviously currently, like, it's clear that there are so many pastors that like be out there talking a lot of shit. Or if you give me this amount of money, like you get that much blessing.
Yeah.
Call it personal prayer package.
That's fuckery. Because when
pick up the phone,
Jesus used to give blessing. For free. You see what I mean? And someone that's supposed to be following that same Jesus, comes around and then tells us that, in order for you to get that same blessing, you need to pay me that.
Bruv, you know, going with your point there, you ever seen them videos, like, backyard, like, they'll be like in, some pastor will be like telling people to eat grass. Bro! Ever seen it?
I've seen
I've seen one pastor. My God. He had a foot on the chair like that. He's getting everyone in church to go underneath him because that's how they get blessed. Men, bruv. Like, men, Ricky. That's you, bruv. and Laura going underneath someone. Bro, what the fuck?
So you see what I mean? So to you, this is obviously.
But that shows to me, that people are just weak. Yeah. They're just weak. They don't even think for themselves, and they're so desperate.
I think if
they'll just believe anything.
I think it's that thing where there's that saying, you stand for something or you fall for anything.
Yeah.
I think if there isn't a foundation to who you are as a person, then it's easy for something to just because for example, like there are people who live certain lifestyles that might be a little bit wild, but they're all the way committed to that's who they are. And then there's other people that live certain lifestyles that are wild, but they're not actually committed to it. They're just some influential person has come up and been like, oh, let's do this, and because they don't have nothing within that identity, they're like, okay, well, I'll do that. And I think this is where you get people that have gone and basically lived all these different lives of doing it.
You know what's even more mad, Rick? Is the man that's performing those fake miracles, brother. He don't fear God, bro. He don't fear nothing. He doesn't fear
the devil, right?
Bro. A nigga will be like, I'm gonna say a prayer. I'm gonna shout out, and he'll be like, stand up, run! Someone else will stand up. Bro, that's mad, bro. And that's in the church, bro.
Do you know,
that you have no fear. You're not scared of hell, bro. Nothing.
You know, but there's an element, there's an element where sometimes there's an element of, okay, how could you do, why would you go on like that? That's mad and try to trick all the people. But then there's another thing, But there's another thing, It's the case of, if you're willing, if you're weak enough that you're willing to somebody who's clearly doing bullshit to get you to do that dumb shit,
that's what I always say, bro.
I remember that
you have a problem.
This is the thing. To us, this is obvious.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, but why is it not obvious to them?
Right.
Bro, some of these men, they're grown men.
Yeah, bro.
That's like a whole big man and a woman taking the kids there, bro, to do this bullshit thing. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, can you not think for yourself?
It's sad.
Can you not
but
see
the thing is for us is bullshit, right? But for them, if you see that in front of them right now,
the shit that is going to put you up.
Honestly, I think to myself, it is a thing where
I think in that space you deserve to be scammed
because you're
stupid.
You're an idiot.
You're stupid. You're an idiot. Man. There's no way around it. You're stupid.
But they don't see as they've been scammed. For them,
I reckon there's an element.
It's a desperate.
But I think there's an
situation
element that people. You got to think that because I think, and I get it because I think it is hard and it's difficult if you don't be like, for example, some people just understand what their purpose is.
Yeah.
Whether it's they've got a career they're gonna do or they're good at something, or they're just like, I'm just chill. Yeah. I understand that for some people who are like, I'm not sure what it is I want to do. I get it that it is difficult to try and find some form of purpose, some form of purpose, or to feel like you have to find one. So I get it is difficult to do that if you don't know where to start. And I think there's an element that just take the easy way out. So it's almost like they want to be scammed because this way they can, when shit goes left, they can blame this guy. Yeah, they can say he did it to us. He did this, that, and the other. And because I think the world is has changed in a way where, the way you teach kids, like, look, if you don't play with knives, play with it, you're gonna get cut. There's an element that instead of sort of saying to the kid, letting them learn, I'm saying they play with knives, but instead of letting them fall over, hurt themselves, and learn. Okay, let me not do that again. You're more like as a society now. We're more likely inclined to just try and put cushions around, so that if they fall, they don't hurt themselves. But that way, the lesson isn't learned. So it's a case of, instead of saying to these people, "You fucking idiot! Why would you eat grass because some idiot told you to?" We're gonna go to the guy that said it and say, "You're a bad person. Why did you do this, that, and the other?" When really it's a case of, well, listen, it's that thing that there's a sucker born every day.
Listen to this, Rick. Yeah, there's a pastor, from backyard. I think he was selling people bricks, $1 a brick.
Huh?
Yeah, and he was.
What, you mean like a brick?
And brick, just brick. And he one, for $1, and he came with the whole truckload, And apparently he was saying, "You buy this brick is blessed. You're gonna build your own house. You're gonna build, bruv."
You see what I mean? Like,
using the Father's name, bro.
He had a point though, innit? You need to buy that first one. From me, man, I'm motivated. He had a point.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, the point.
But when I heard it, I'm like, what? And people bought, I'm like,
and
what?
How many of these
fucking
people
crazy?
But
Nothing, bro. What you mean?
But the thing is, you know what it is though? There is an element where it's, again, these things, as Jesus said, like, these things sound wild to us, but not to these people. And I get it. Some things are blatant.
Desperation.
Some system go eat grass. No.
Yeah.
But when you think about in society, think about how many things that were a certain way, like as a whole, that are now not. Like years ago, I remember I see an advert.
You're not trying to excuse that bullshit.
Listen, years ago, cigarettes were like administered in hospitals. Pregnant women, they'd be like, "Yeah, have a cigarette." I swear down. And like, I remember there was a what do you call it? There was like an advert. They used to say like a Mars a day, as in chocolate bar Mars a day, helps you work, rest, and play. So you're saying eat a Mars bar every single a Mars a day helps you work, rest, and play. So it was a case of he was telling people everybody you should eat Mars bars, one Mars bar every single day. So there's an element where it sounds wild when you're like, why would you eat something? Why would you go and eat grass? But there is an element where we were all told at one point, everybody who's like smoking was fine. And now all of a sudden, hey motherfucker, what are you doing? And now it's just gone the other way. So it sounds wild, but the principle is there. And I wonder how many things now that are a certain way now that are going to then change in years to come. We're going to go, I can't believe we did that. Do you know what I mean?
But that's the thing, when your brain is just willing to believe something to start with, it's a lot easier for people than to receive fuck with you. You see what I mean? So these lot already want to believe that God is real and whoever is in charge wants what's best for them, and like it's a person of God. You see what I mean? So it's already a lot easier for this person to then tell them fuckery, and then they'll all obviously get up and say, that's right. But though, in all of that, what really makes me laugh here is the fact that these lot obviously believe in all of that shit, But there was one video online, where next pastor like was there with his church, things were obviously going so well, to the point that he thought the right thing for him to do was to go and buy a Range Rover. He's the same church goers, chase that motherfucker, bro. They were chasing that. They were like, no, give that shit back. You see what I mean? So you see what I mean? So if they're there and then they're knowing that him doing that fuckery isn't right, why can't they see that eating grass like?
But I think you're right. It's kind of they don't want to. They don't want to. And again, like I said, because then if to take full responsibility of your own life, I think it is a very hard thing to do. It is a hard job, especially if you've not had any sense of guidance at all. And I think sometimes it's not even they don't see it as, I'm going to eat grass. But they just see it as, I'm going to take the easy way out. Because the truth is, this other way is way too hard and I might flop. Because the truth is, like, not everybody make it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it is that thing is, I think if you don't have your own, if you're not like, if you can't be grounded enough to think to yourself,
but
you know
bedroom. Like, the to idolize again, a pastor that much that he'll make you eat grass. He'll make you. He'll put his feet up on a chair and he tells you and your wife.
Just
think about that, Ricky. Think about that, and your kids. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means you're idolizing this person so much that he will make you do anything.
Yeah,
that's true.
But then look at it this
wild,
way. Right? Look at it this way. How many people do you think stopped going to that church after?
I bet they're fucking still going.
He made them do that.
I bet more.
I bet more, bro. I bet more. Honestly, I think desperation. I think.
Yeah, is
like the people are fucked up and they'll believe anything. Like
if you don't have any,
if you can just preach
strong values, strong core values, you basically just end up doing anything, is it?
I think the key is basically just learning, man. Because the more your eyes are open to,
I think you got to be willing to do that. I think for the most part, you got to be sort of say to yourself, you know what? I mean, you have to get to a point where one, you have a self-awareness of who it is you are.
Yeah.
Because I think if you have that self-awareness of you're this person or that person, whatever it is, from there you can then decide, okay, I'm this person. Am I okay with it? Or do I want to change that? I think when you're in a position where you're still in denial, where you're still fronting to people to a point where it's one thing lying to other people about who you are, but when you start lying to yourself, I'm this. You know what I mean, then it's a case where you're never gonna want to. And don't get me wrong, I've met old people where I'm like, I can't believe you're still like this at this age. I didn't think that beyond 30. People would still behave like this, but I've met full on, and I'm like, I don't know how but you can see for them to change, because I think it comes to a point where, like, I've met some people where I'm like, for you to change, you'd have to kill this version off of yourself.
Yeah, of course.
And you've built your life around who you are, who this persona is. That it's almost a case of for you to really like to kill that version off of yourself is a near impossibility.
Yeah.
Because you're like, the person who you're like, your wife who you're with is based on this idiot that you are. The job that you do, or the things that you complain about, the way you live your lifestyle is based on this persona that you are. Yeah. Because it's become like a domino effect. So now to change completely, everything would have to change to an extent. Because do you know what I mean?
But this is the thing though. Those people that tend to obviously go around and complain about where they are and shit like that. Do you think they really, really, really want to change, and like that's the reason why they're always complaining? Or B, they're just doing that so that people would think that like really what they want to do is something better about things.
But that's the thing. I think there's the element I think most people that complain, that's part of, they like to complain. I think if they woke up and had nothing to complain about, they'd go mad. And I think this is what I'm saying. These people, I've come across people where they're at a job and they complain about it all the time. I'm like, bro, you can go get another job easy. Yeah. But they won't, because now it's like, because if I now go change my job, I ain't got nothing to complain about. And then what am I gonna do? But all they literally, there's a guy like even like where in the job I was in before, like I used to be a driver, and basically like this, every time I was there, like every time I'd be at the depot, he was there. Whether I come back really late or I come in really early, he was there. Yeah. And I was like, did you go out to deliver today? And he goes, oh yeah, and I ain't got to go till 8. I'm like, it's 6:30, bro. What are you doing here? He goes, oh, just standing about. I was like, all right, fair enough. But then, like, because he was the person that took me out to sort of train me up or whatever, and you hear him complaining, oh yeah, I want to get back home, this, that, and the other. And we get back to the depot, and he's staying there, brother. I'm like, and he's there chatting, and he's just in the canteen chatting. I'm like, bro, why are you still here? But at the same time, you're complaining to me when we're on the road, saying, oh, it's traffic, it's this and that. Man, I realise this guy, this is part of his life. Yeah. If he just did his job, went home, done, he will know what to do with himself. Yeah. And there's an element, that's what I mean, like his whole life is based around him being the guy that waffles and complains about something he doesn't really want to change. And I think that's what it is. I think most people, it's the complaining. That's what they like to do. Because for the most part, it's a case of like, most problems that people face, there is usually a straightforward solution, in the sense of, again, for people that live in, depending on where you live. But in terms of, in this country where we live, most problems that you have that plague people, like having a shit job or this and the other, is pretty much it's a straightforward change. You're either living outside of your means, or you're trying to, I don't know, like you've decided, I don't know, whatever it is, you're complaining, you're doing something that you don't really want to do, and you can literally just, even just looking, even just to look, to be like, let me see what other options are out there. Yeah. Just to know that I've tried to do what I can. Yeah. And if you try and you're not able to, there's an element you'll get a sense of, you know what, I've given it a go. Yeah. And there's not much else out there. Yeah. But it's almost a case of when two people do complain, it's the case of, you haven't looked to go and try. Because when you ask him, have you done this? They'll go, oh, nah. They'll go, oh, fuck that. You're just like,
yeah,
what we doing?
But that's the thing though, change isn't that easy though. It's
not
like
easy.
knowing that you need to change and then actually changing like are two different things. Because me personally, there are times that like I've looked at stuff and then I was like, nah, obviously whatever is going on like isn't right. Like I know that things need to change,
Yeah.
But it will still take me time.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, I get it. It is hard.
But do you think that taking time is from a privileged perspective?
Right. For me personally, it's just fear of not knowing.
Like for the example, like with the complaining. Yeah. Like someone from the gutter.
Yeah.
They're not complaining. That's luxury to
Yeah,
them.
it is actually.
What you're complaining about,
true.
it's luxury to someone else.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Do you think that sometimes it's coming from a privileged perspective?
Yeah, true.
I think that is something you got to go with that.
Fence,
thinking,
what the fuck are you? I'll swap you.
Yeah,
but
true.
So you can see my struggle.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? It's true. Which is why, like, it's slightly easier for people that have nothing, like absolutely nothing, to make it and then like have absolutely everything that they want, than someone that has something. You see what I mean? Not all of it,
because
but
they're
like,
pushing it, but they're comfortable in a
bubble.
bubble.
You see what I mean? Like because they're there, thinking, like, do I really have to? But someone
it's not that bad.
Instead of stay in that comfortable space without having to push, that we stay in that space because it's comfortable, right?
That's it.
I don't have to give that extra push.
Yeah.
But with someone who's got fuck all,
do you see what I mean?
got fuck all.
There's no choice.
So,
So like, you see what I mean? So work like the work that they usually put in is a lot more than what they need, and then like by doing that, whatever comes after that is a lot more than what they were trying to like get. And
because you're doing it from a comfortable space.
Yeah.
I'll say like this, like
am I ready for these pull-ups?
Yeah, let's do
Pull-ups,
Let's wrap it up and do some pull-ups.
Safe.